Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Social English Podcast. I know you've been waiting for it. Here is the next part of the IIWC conversation pattern, the W. What does the W mean and how can we use it? That is what you will learn today in the Social English Podcast. So, let's get started.
今日のエピソードでは英語圏である西洋諸国における特定の社会的状況についての重要なソーシャルイングリッシュのヒントをお教えします。アメリカ、カナダ、イギリス、その他の英語圏の国で実際に使えるように英会話のスキルアップに焦点を当てた社会的状況に関する大事なヒントを聞きながら学んでいきます。
Hey everybody, once again, welcome back to the Social English Podcast. Okay, now, if you are a new listener, I think that you should go back and listen to some of our previous episodes. If you're a returning listener, hey, thank you for still listening and rocking with us. Okay. Today is the next part of our conversational series on speaking English, how to have English conversations. Okay, today we're going to cover the next part. This is the third part, the W. It's the third part in the series IIWC. But it's the fourth part of the entire series. Okay? So, what are we talking about? We're talking about the IIWC pattern. If you are a beginner learning English, this episode will be hard. So please play it on slow or ask for help. If you are intermediate or advanced, this episode is fine for you. You'll have no problems understanding the episode. If you missed our last episodes, go back and listen to the last 3 episodes where you will learn the other parts of the IIWC pattern. Okay? That is icebreaker, introduction, the why. Today, we're going to do the why, the W. Here's a quick review of this topic. In most English-speaking countries in the West, there's a certain pattern, a conversational pattern. Here at Social English, we want you to understand the patterns of conversations so you can have great conversations. The reason is to help you understand where conversations are starting and what the person who speaks to you is trying to achieve or their goal in the conversation. What are they trying to do in the conversation? Where are they trying to take the conversation? Okay? I'm going to give you a structure that you could use to learn this pattern. You can even use it by listening to other people in conversations. And you can see if you can hear the parts of the basic conversation pattern. Okay? I want you to also understand this pattern so you can get more comfortable and relax. Get comfortable with speaking English to other people. When you understand the pattern, you will understand how Western native English speakers create conversations, how we make a conversation. Okay, so once again, what is the conversation pattern? I call it personally, the IIWC pattern, and I want you to call it that too. Remember, the IIWC pattern is only used for meeting people for the first time. So it's only you can see this pattern the first time you meet someone. Okay? Today we will cover the W in IIWC. The W stands for, the W means why. This is the third action in the conversation. The why, W, is used in conversation and it has an important purpose. At this point, you as the listener don't know why the speaker has started a conversation with you. Okay, so there was the icebreaker, okay, the introduction, but still, why? What's the why? Why are we doing this? What's going on here? So here are some examples of the why, because you need to understand what the why does. It is used to build the next part of your conversation. Here are some examples of why based on the last episode. Let's continue our conversations with Kate, Joe, Justin, Jessica, and Christina from our last episode, episode 128. Okay, here's Kate's. I saw you looking at the yoga mats. Do you practice yoga? That is the why. Why Kate? This is Kate not saying exact why, but this is Kate not using the word why, but her question, what she's saying to you is telling you, the listener, the reason why she's talking to you. One more time. That's Kate saying this. I saw you looking at the yoga mats. Do you practice yoga? Jolene. Let's go to Jolene. Okay. Jolene. I thought you might be from Japan. Are you? So Jolene's question is her why is she thinks you look like someone from Japan. Maybe your clothes, your appearance, something about you makes you think or makes her think that you might be from Japan, and she is interested in talking to you because she thinks you might be from Japan. Okay, let's talk about Justin. Justin is the business major from college in your last episode, 128. Here's Justin. I thought you might want to know about our stock club. Justin's why is he wants to tell you about the stock club at your school that you're visiting. Jessica from the last episode. Jessica, who's friends with Chris. This is who Jessica is, okay? Her next portion. Chris told me that you are good at math, and I wanted to see if you want to join our study group. So Jessica got information from Chris, and she wants to talk to you about studying with their math study group. Christina, she's in your apartment building on the 5th floor. This is her why. I wanted to warn you about the trash room here. The door gets stuck sometimes. So because she's friendly and in the same building as you, Christina is trying to explain to you and tell you about the trash room. That is her why. Her why is her telling you, her explaining to you by a sentence in the conversation why she's talking to you, so you understand the reason. You're not thinking, oh, what is going on? You understand the reason behind the conversation. Okay. Now, do you understand that? That is the why. Okay, so those were just a few of whys, just a few examples, but there are many more. If you understand these and listen for them, you will start to understand why a person starts a conversation with you and what their goal might be. They might want to give you information. They might want to ask you to join something. They might want to be your friend. There's so many different reasons, but please learn how to identify, how to hear the why in real conversations.
この章を気に入っていただけたら、5つ星のレビューをぜひお願いします。コメントは英語か日本語でお書きいただければ喜んで読ませていただきます。realsocialenglish.com にアクセスしてぜひ無料でダウンロードしてください。ほとんどの日本人の英語を勉強している人がやってしまいがちな7つの間違いとその正しい言い方。また、毎日英語を上達させるのに役立つ資料もたくさんあります。Apple Podcast、Google Podcast、Stitcher、そして今はパンドラでもポッドキャストを購読いただけます。支援者になっていただけませんか？私たちがこの賞を作るための支援として5ドルの寄付をお願いできませんか？今後のエピソードで感謝の気持ちをお伝えします。また、そこでしか利用できない新しいコンテンツも入手できます。patreon.com/socialenglish からご参加ください。ソーシャルメディアで私たちのポッドキャストを友達にシェアしたり、Twitter、Facebook、Instagram のフォローをお願いします。
So that is it. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Social English Podcast. That is the why in our that is the W in our IIWC pattern. Don't forget, I will go through the pattern by each letter and give you examples in the next episode so you can fully understand and practice how to use this pattern. The next letter is C. This is the last letter in the pattern, and we'll talk about what the C means, and I'll give you some examples in the next episode. Now, also remember that in some conversations, IIWC is not exactly in that order. Some people will do I, then they'll do a W, and then they'll do a I, and then they'll do a C. Okay, so sometimes the second I and the W are changed, and I'll give you some examples of that in our last episode of this particular series of the IIWC model. Okay, so just remember all four parts are still used in most conversations, and it is extremely helpful. It's very helpful for conversations and conversational English learners to study. So this is going a little bit beyond what you may learn from an Eikaiwa class or a conversation school. This is actually explaining to you the structure and what's going on in the conversation. So I believe it's going a little bit further. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and always ask those. Go ahead and no problems there. So what I want you to understand is I want you to be able to communicate. Okay? I want you to understand, communicate, and have amazing conversations in English. I want you to share your culture with the world, and I want you to learn about all other different cultures using English. It's a great language to learn to connect people and cultures. Okay. Today's action item, what I want you to do today after you listen to this podcast is I want you to try 2 different whys. Then I want you to practice using them on a friend or your conversational avatar. That's all. Practice that, and I'll see you in the next episode where we could talk about our next letter C, continuance. We'll talk about continuance, what I like to call what comes next. Okay? I'll see you in the next episode. You'll learn all about continuance. Stick around for that. Peace and love.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイト realsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.